And we're live. Hey guys, welcome to the 2023 Armchair Dragoons Digital Convention. As Brant is banging his head over in the other side of the screen, having some fun with the tunes that we get to get started. But it's great to see another year going by and another digital convention underway.
This is now our the fourth ACDC. It's our fifth different wargame convention. We had the virtual Dragoons Assembly was the very first one we did back in the summer of 2020, and Moe's been here for all of them. We can't get rid of him, and and so we did summer 2020, MLK weekend 2021, summer of 2021, MLK weekend of 2022, and now 2023. And so this is for wargame conventions. We're up to 5.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, we've had other stuff in between there. We did MastaraCon. We did a couple of Connections Online events. You were part of one of those. So we've done a variety of these things. It can be a little difficult sometimes, I think, for us as the guys kind of running things, that we've done a bunch of these. So there's a little bit of stuff that kind of goes on autopilot for us that we forget that there's still people in the crowd who've never done a digital convention before and aren't 100% sure what they're supposed to do or how they're supposed to do it. And had some of those conversations on Discord today. One of the guys like, okay, so what do I need? Where do I need to check in when my game event starts? And like, you go to
Front
here
desk
on your
over
Discord.
there.
You go click here on your Discord, and the GM will get you the right invite to the tabletop simulator game or the vassal game or whatever you need, and then go from there. And here's how to connect to the audience. So it's all those things that, like, we've been doing them for 5 years. We're just like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
But we forget that other people are still learning their way through this. And
well, yeah, not everybody's been to every convention, and some people have said, hey, next time I'll go. Well, now it's finally the next time for them. So
yeah. And I think we got a handful of folks that really just sort of found out about these digital convention things at all very recently. And so it's cool that they're here. I'm glad they're joining us. I'm glad they're taking the plunge and checking this out. So,
oh yeah, no, I mean, it's great. This is one of the good things that did come out of the pandemic, is the fact that everybody learned that we can do these things online digitally, and we're doing them, and people are getting involved, and it has kind of spurred other people to play Vassal and Tabletop Simulator and whatever together online with their friends, because before they just took it for granted. Oh, I'll just meet you on game day or whatever. And then we didn't have game day for a little while. So now we have those tools were always there. So now people have really come to appreciate them and come to use them, which is great.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of funny because so Jim Ozarski, Cyrano with the Dragoons, lots of folks know who Ozarski is because he's been streaming nonstop war games for years now. If you go back and look at his channel for when he started streaming tabletop simulator stuff, it's actually pre-pandemic. He started like 8 months before the pandemic really kicked in, just because he wanted a chance to be able to game with folks other than when you show up at conventions or occasional game days.
So what you're saying is it's all his fault?
It is totally his fault. But I mean, Tabletop Simulator, the other thing Tabletop Simulator did, Jim is a big fan of minis, war games. Just the arts and crafts are a real pain in the butt. Like, they become a serious time sink. And if the arts and crafts aren't something that you really want to do, then you're reliant on other people who do want to do them to invite you to their games. Well, Jim figured out it's real easy to build big armies of miniatures when it's just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy.
Oh yeah.
You can get a pretty big crowd on the map in a hurry like that. And so he started doing a whole lot of wargaming in Tabletop Simulator back in 2019. And so when the pandemic hit, everybody was sort of forced to game online. We all sort of shrugged and said, all right, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, when, we had to figure out how to do this whole online convention part of the stuff, but the gameplay, like, we'd crack that nut a year in advance, So
sure.
So that was cool. I want to take a minute to say hi. I mean, how many folks we got in the show at this point? Like 25, 30, something like that?
20, about 18, 20. Looks like.
Yeah. We got a bit of a crowd there. So that's totally cool. So thank you guys. I know we've got a handful of folks in some events right now, because the Lock and Load table for their World at War game, shoot, they had 12 people in there at one point earlier. Looks like they got about a dozen in there right now. We've got a half a dozen in the Blucher game right now. We got some guys playing Song for War. We've got, it looks like Tim's busy teaching Judean Hammer to Harold over in the Catastrophe Games room. So we've got all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, the first day and there's already events underway, and there have been events going on, and you're seeing as the days gone by, you see more activity, picking up in the Discord server, and there'll be more over this evening, and then of course over the weekend. And then don't let that stop you guys. After you play here and you meet some people, stick with it. Play after the convention. There's nothing stopping you from using a server to get together, to just chat until it goes away. Of course, it will go away at some point, but use it as a point of contact. Make sure you right click and send a friend invite to these people so that we can maintain contact after the convention's over.
Yeah. And so we also have a Discord server for the Dragoons. That's a permanent thing. That's not just one that we stand up for the convention and then goes away when that's done. The Armchair Dragoons Discord server stays put, and we've got folks that use the audio channels that we've set up there all the time to get together for some different games. We got a variety of game tables in there, and folks use them all the time to play some stuff online. Not just the Saturday Night Fights crew, but plenty of other folks. People that are active on Twitter and now Mastodon have seen Hethwill posting a lot of different stuff out there. Hethwill has been developing an Age of Sail war game of his own design for a year and a half, 2 years now that he's been sort of more public about it. He's been working on it a while. Sure. It's called A Sprinkling of Nobility, but there's a whole section in our Discord where he's posting the information about that game and hosts the playtest sessions and everything. He uses Tabletop Simulator to test it. And he'll do rules rewrites and post them back up there. All right, guys, we're going to do another playtest here in 3 weeks. Who wants to come play? So
yeah, that's great.
We do a lot of that.
But you want to do it. Mike did not even know that the convention was going on, so you failed on getting out that information,
dude. I thought I was just spamming the crap out of everybody because we've thrown stuff up on Twitter, on Mastodon, on Facebook, and like 12 places. Board Game Geek, Consim World Social, about 4 different Discord channels. I even went and spam bombed the Game Squad forums and the Battlefront.com forums to let those folks know. So for folks that are watching but not registered for the convention, Mo just put the link to the convention info from our site in there. You do need to register through tabletop.events. It's the January ACDC and tabletop.events. And that will get you access to the Discord server and to being able to register for the different events. And we've got some of them that are already filled up. We've got some of them that still have seats available. We've got a handful of them that have like 6, 7, 8 seats at the start. So even if 4 people register, there's still empty seats available in some of those events. The Kriegspiel guys are back. Ozarski's running 2 of his sort of trademark big games. So we've got a bunch of folks around. Guys, seriously, like Mike, I guess.
The Mike and Mike show.
Mike, saying they hadn't noticed. Where should we have gotten the word out to you guys to help get that information out? Because Gary even promoted it, not this past week when he had Mark on his show, but the week before he was promoting it there as well. Because he was he's doing a learn to play GCACW tomorrow morning and was talking about it on his show as well. I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'm happy to get the word out everywhere I can. Like, I was even shooting stuff to some of the professional wargamer communities, like the UK Fight Club folks and the Connections mailing lists and people like that. I'm happy to go annoy whoever needs to be annoyed. I just need to know where to go to bug people about this. So, Ed, there was not an email blast because I don't really have an email list to work off of. We've got stuff up on our website and that auto posts through a whole bunch of other channels that we regularly use. again, several Facebook groups, the usual locations and places like Consim World and Board Game Geek, and the different Discord servers out there. Fred Serval was very nice and let us promote some stuff through his Discord server. I'm just, trying to figure out where to get the stuff out there. But we even had, Harold Buchanan was sharing information about it. And our buddy Grant from Pushing Cardboard, who's in the audience, was here about it too. Pete helped promote it a little bit through Mastodon. So,
well, Charles is saying here, he was congratulating Mike on his membership number, his subscribers. Meandering Mike has just exceeded 300 subscribers. So get over to Meandering Mike's YouTube channel, subscribe, get that a little higher. And we've got a new objective right now, being that this is the Armchair Games Digital Convention, and Brant's over there choking. What I want to do is let's get Charles above 100 subscribers right now. He's at 94. Yeah. So
sorry about that, man. My drink just attacked me.
It's okay. I just got to keep rolling. So as long as you're not rolling around, flopping around, I know you're good to go. So
not yet. Give me a minute.
There is Charles's link for his channel. So go over there and let's give him a sub so we can get him above 100 right now. We've got enough people in the audience. We want to try to help build each other's audiences up. And that's what content creation is all about. Charles is always showing us the stuff he gets in the mail and stuff he's working on. He has a new video, I believe, a tank he was trying to paint. His first ogre tank. He wants everybody helping him out picking the paint scheme. So this is a way to help out a fellow wargamer who's sharing his content, putting some effort out to put some stuff up to keep him going on it. So let's get over there and get him some subs.
Yeah. So Captain Darwin, the fun part about this is that this stuff isn't even spiked. Like, I'm not even on the good stuff tonight, and I'm having a drinking problem here.
So he's at 103 now. So you broke the century mark, Charles. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Fantastic. That's what we would love to do.
So Meandering Mike's comment about advertise on Ardwolf Lair. We did. Like, if you go pull up the stream from 2 weeks ago, not the one with Mark, because like there were bigger things that we needed to do with Mark that day. But if you go pull up the most recent of the best of the Avalon Hill ones, like the first 5 minutes of the show was talking about a whole bunch of a bunch of stuff about ACDC. So, and had the links to it and everything out there. So, I mean, we tried. We'd probably need to mention it some more, but we did get it out there. So yeah.
So Mike was saying he would have liked to have shown Wolfpack, but he said maybe next time. How come you couldn't show it this time, Mike? Not enough digital stuff done for it, or? Well,
he's one of the ones that said he didn't know what was going on.
He's one of the ones that you failed to reach. It's all your fault, Brant. Man, we could be playing Wolfpack tonight, but we can't. Everybody, 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Brant.
Yeah. Here's the deal. We've got some open voice channels in the Discord for the convention. So there's nothing stopping you from organizing a pickup game in the convention space and just throwing up a note in the general conversation that says, hey, how about a pickup game of Wolfpack starting at 10 o'clock tonight? Let's run a late night game and maybe pick up some left coasters for whom it's a little earlier and run a game. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, definitely not. And who knows? Maybe maybe that'll still happen. And then we've got Meandering Mike's channel. If anybody wants to go check out his channel as well, I'll post that up. And because he's got 300 subs, that's where this all came from. But I didn't want to just talk about one without mentioning the other. So that's Meandering Mike's. He's got a great little channel too. So make sure you check that out. And go subscribe if you've not already done so. And Jim, oh yeah, no, I think you're not the only one for that one. Pumped for the Air and Armor session. I think everybody's going to be real pumped for that. And we will be having also, this is another benefit to joining into the convention itself, is we have multiple seminars. We have a talk after the show. I'm going to be talking with the guys from the Center for Naval Analysis about professional wargaming and how that kind of goes not hand in hand, but what the comparisons are between that and hobby wargaming and what are the similarities, differences, things like that. Then tomorrow, I'm going to be talking to Sebastian Bay about Littoral Commander and then also going to be talking tomorrow afternoon with Bruce Maxwell about Air and Armor. And all of these are not going to be visible publicly. They're only going to be visible to those people in the convention. So if you need a reason to sign up, those are 3 good ones right there. A few great seminars, and then of course the demo on Sunday for Air and Armor. And those talks will go live probably next week, but for now, it's going to be held only for people here in the convention.
Hey, I'm gonna pull my screen up here if that's cool. And
sure.
What I've got here, this is not the tabletop.events site. This is the Dragoons site that's got the this is the extract from the of the schedule. So this is just showing you what's going on with the schedule. So we're down here for the welcome happy hour, and unfortunately, Ryan posted a thing in the Discord a little earlier. He has fallen ill and is not going to be able to do the Ginorma Pod game tonight. But Mo had mentioned he's still got the where do we go? The professional wargaming with CNA is still going to happen tonight. So that one will be this evening. But then starting tomorrow, we've got a pretty full day tomorrow on Saturday. You can see there's a whole list of stuff going on here, and this just gets us through lunch. So the International Kriegspiel Society guys are going to start off real early. A couple of those guys are based in Europe, so it's not that early for them. You can learn to play GCACW with Ardwolf. We've got just a general sort of social wake up with the Dragoons in Discord. We're not streaming that. We're not broadcasting that. It's just a chance for everybody to get together and have a chat before we start gaming too much. We're sort of stealing Harold's, coffee with the Wargamers idea that he does out at SD HisCon. The guys from Lock and Load will be teaching Point Blank. Twilight 2000 GMs are back, so we've got a T2K game with the new system that Free League released. The Squadron Strike games, if you guys haven't seen these, it's a browser-based engine that the guys from Ad Astra built for themselves. And it is really cool. You just log into the website and you play there. It's all browser-based. It's space dogfighting. But the graphics are really neat for something that's running in a browser. It's pretty cool. And they teach you the whole game. They do a great job of it. I know Tim and Carl are floating around in the audience tonight. The Board Game Boot Camp tomorrow will teach you the best of sort of Discord and Vassal and Tabletop Simulator. So the newbies that we've got out there, hop in. Yeah, I just saw Tim's note in the chat. The times that are listed here are U.S. Eastern time. So you got to do a little bit of math to figure out what your, what time zone you're in. But these are some of the things we've got running. There is one error in here. The sinking of the USS Scorpion, that's actually happening on Sunday, not Saturday. But that's one of those seminar presentations. We've got a retired Navy 06 who's going to be talking about the history of the sinking of the USS Scorpion, the submarine that sank back during the Cold War. There's the Bruce seminar that Mo was talking about.
Yep.
And what else we got on here you want to point to and shout about, Mo?
Well, Littoral Commander we talked about, and then of course, like we said, Sunday is going to be the Air and Armor demo, which will be real interesting because it's not going to be your standard demo where he's going to try to teach you the game and people are going to be playing. It's going to be him and Fred are going to go through a turn. They both know the game real well. He designed it, Fred developed it. So you're going to see the game moving at a pretty good pace, and things will be explained to you, but at a high level. But you'll be able to see how the game works. And that's the important thing, because I know the first time everybody sees a game, they really kind of want to, maybe just get into it themselves, play. But what ends up happening is you scratch the surface, the surface of the rules, and you kind of walk away going, yeah, it looks kind of neat. I'd like to, dive into it a little deeper. Well, yeah, it takes more time. So that's where I think it's better off having the two experienced players sit there, play it. So that way you can go, wow, that's how that works. That's awesome. And then
but what they will be able to do is, for the audience, you will be able to jump in with some questions during the game. So there's going to be interaction with the audience.
Sure.
It's not just going to be you watching other people play. It would be the equivalent of two guys playing with 5 others sitting around the table, or 10 others, or whatever, being able to have a conversation and ask about things while it's going on. So,
true.
I did see where Meandering Mike was asking if Littoral Commander's shipping. It's not yet. It's supposed to ship in the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. I imagine Mo will get that answer out of Sebastian tomorrow.
Sure.
When he talks to him. But again, this is, sort of what we've got for an agenda going on. And then Sunday night, we'll wrap up with a farewell happy hour. We'll have Gary for that one. And then even after all the happy hour stuff has officially closed down the event, we've still got another game going on because our buddy Hasdrubal is going to be doing the Rebels and Patriots game late Sunday night.
Nice.
So all kinds of stuff going on there. Howdy, Russ Swordsman there. And Pete.
He's up late.
The Mastodon commander there. Yeah, Patrick's got 2 of the sessions Patrick's going to be doing. He's going to be doing a Learn to Play Combat Commander and a Learn to Play Commands and Colors Ancients. Mm-hmm. So if those are 2 series that you've been interested in but haven't taken the plunge yet, you get a chance to play them and take a look at them. So that's, that's what we've got on the agenda. Again, nothing stopping folks from picking up, doing some pickup games here and there. But that's what we've got for this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's plenty to do, right? There's plenty to do.
Well, that's the point. We want to make sure that everybody has as much, of an opportunity to do as many different things as possible, because this only happens every year now. It's thankfully we're not having to do it twice a year because things are not like they were at one point, and hopefully we don't go back to that.
We're down to 1 a year for the digital ones, and this is something we're going to keep as a standard thing. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the screen here.
Sure.
And this is something that we're planning on making an annual thing out of MLK weekend. I know that is going to drop us on top of Winter Offensive also up in Baltimore with the guys from MMP. There's literally every weekend somewhere somebody's having a convention. We can't avoid that. We've got to pick one and run with it. We're grabbing MLK weekend, just coming out of the holidays, get a chance for a virtual game convention. The winter is a sparser time for game conventions anyway, just because travel sucks in the winter. And everybody just blew all their money traveling for the holidays.
Spent all the money for the holidays, exactly.
So this one you can do in your pajamas. Cost you a couple bucks for the registration. Again, just paying for the platform and the access there to kind of make sure that folks that are committing to the games are actually committing to be here for the games.
Well, as I call it, Zoom casual.
Yes.
T-shirt or a polo and PJs.
Yeah. There's a lot of plaid fleece in my wardrobe these days.
Yep.
Not just the shirt. But yeah, so this is the weekend we're going to stick with for the ACDC going forward. Look, we do Origins in the summer. We do Buckeye Game Fest in the spring. We do the Connections Online stuff. So it's not like we've got a lot of other windows that we could work with. But 2 of the other things we do are in person that we show up and do some more gaming with. So if virtual conventions are not always fully to your liking, show up and see us in person at either Buckeye Game Fest or Origins or any of the other conventions we end up roping ourselves into. So,
well, this will be a question for you. Do you get any pushback with the NFL playoffs being on? Because I didn't even know the NFL had playoffs anymore. I honestly don't pay attention to the NFL anymore.
Yeah, not particularly. And one of the main reasons for that is, again, you're doing this at home, right? There's nothing stopping you from having the NFL playoffs on a side screen. Now, if you're one of those people that's going to go to the game, all right, go to the game. Like I don't blame you. It's a playoff game. Have fun. But we're not going to stop you from watching something on the side screen while this is going on. So
I don't think we can enforce that.
I just threw you a link there that somebody was asking if we could post the link to the actual convention registration. Nerd Workshop was asking. Okay. So I just threw that to you that you can share that with everybody. That's the actual registration page there that Mo just threw up in the chat. So you'd be able to join there. I will say there's been some challenges with the Discord links that have been going out through the email that tabletop.events has been sending out. And so there's been a couple of folks that I've had to follow up with and send them a separate Discord link. Something happened with the new year when Discord changed some of their crap that the links are expiring a lot faster than they're supposed to. We had them set to expire after like 30 days, the invites to expire after 30 days, and they're expiring after like 30 minutes. I don't know what their problem is. Yeah.
30 minutes. Damn.
So I've spent a lot of the last 2 or 3 days sending a lot of individual Discord links out to folks just to get the info out to them. So,
well, if you join that right there for the princely sum of $5,
we're at $5. All the early bird tickets are gone, so we're up to $5.
Yeah, you could have saved a lot of money if you got the early bird ticket. But I mean, it's only $5, and you know that's because we're required to charge for it. So that's not something that tabletop events will let you do for free. So it's not that much money, and it helps, I guess, keep the lights on. Brant can speak to that more than I can, I think, because I don't get a cut of that. Big dollars. I think he takes it all.
Big dollars. Yeah, I mean, some of it goes to some of our back-end support costs, but the vast majority of it actually goes back into, just access to the platform.
Sure.
And in some cases, things like the streaming costs for some of the StreamYard stuff. So, and some of the platform software.
Don't laugh, Ed. We had that. We have had that.
So Ed, here's the deal. We had the vendors kind of do some stuff with us before, where we had kind of a vendors room in Discord set up where folks could pop in and talk to some of the folks at different times. We've had a couple of vendors officially supporting stuff with some discounts and things, and just nobody was really taking advantage of them. We do a survey after every one of these that we send to all of the attendees, and it's about, a half a dozen, well, a little more than that, probably about 10 questions. Hey, did you have a good time? What are some of the things you did? What did you enjoy the most? What can we improve? And one of the things that we'd always asked was sort of, did you take advantage of any of the vendor deals? And we were only getting like 2 or 3 yeses. So it was asking a lot of the vendors to.
Oh, you're wigging out.
Wasn't resulting in a lot of actual sales for them.
Your internet's wigging. Your internet's wigging out. It's actually kind of funny. You're in super slow-mo. I think you're back to normal now because your eyes closed like really slow and then opened back up. I was like, wow, that's kind of trippy.
If my son's screwing up some bandwidth because he and some guys are in a raid on Destiny right now, then that might be screwing me up.
Well, that is a great point, though, because those options were there for using the dealer room. But if people are not taking advantage of them, I guess maybe because there's no go up and pick up the game and hold it in your hand and, oh, yeah, this is mine. I need to have it. The deals were comparable to what you'd get at the convention. So you're talking like 20% off and things like that. There were even some other specials that were even better. So is there really even a point to doing it if people are not taking advantage of it? Everyone was, I guess, busy, doing the events that they were interested in and didn't even bother to really go over to the dealer room area.
Yeah, I think the lack of being able to walk over to a table and pick something up and look at it and ask questions, I think that's one thing that there's no good way to replicate online.
Yeah.
It would be nice if we could, but I think that's something that we're definitely going to lose in the trade-off of face-to-face versus online. So,
and Mike's right. I mean, we've talked about this numerous times that the virtual conventions are a great alternative to face-to-face for the simple fact that you can plug one in between of when the other face-to-face conventions are, even like right now when we're all back to going to conventions.
Yeah.
And you can still put it in there and people can take advantage of it and enjoy it and, save you some money. You don't have to pay for airfare. Don't have to pay for a hotel room. All you got to do is, pay for your own room and board, which you're already using anyway at home. Yep. And you just have to negotiate with the wife and the kids. Hey, I need a couple hours of quiet time. Leave me alone here if possible. And then I'll we'll all go out to dinner or something like that. And you have that freedom of going back and forth, coming in
Yep.
for one event and going and doing stuff with the family the rest of the day.
Yeah. So folks that have been around the Dragoons and, iterations of us before that know that we've been running the wargame program at Origins going back to 2014. And we're doing a lot of stuff before that with the Origins War College. But we've been running the wargame program at Origins since 2014. And there's a lot of scheduling and planning and organizing that goes into something like that, as you would expect. Having now done a bunch of these, both digital and in person, the digital conventions have some great advantages to them in that, for instance, we don't worry about table space. Right? If I got 9 GMs that all want an event at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, like I can put 9 things at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, and I don't have to worry about who's on which tables. It's not a big deal. If somebody runs long, who cares? The other guy can still set up in Tabletop Simulator. It's not a problem. So on one hand, some of the scheduling is a little easier in the digital world because I'm not having to juggle space on tables. The flip side of it is, because I'm not having to juggle space on tables and because people don't have to make travel arrangements and don't have to like block off time away from work or family or anything else, I get a whole lot of stuff show up at the last minute. A lot of folks are going, oh yeah, hey, you've got the ACDC coming up next weekend. Hey, I'm willing to do blah. And I'm like, I got 6 days to tell people about this. Do you really think you're going to get people register for it? Like, I'm always willing to put it on the schedule, but I don't want you to be disappointed if nobody signs up for it because, like, man, I didn't find out about it until the last minute. I already had other plans or whatever.
We're hammering this stuff out, starting around Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving. We're starting to hammer stuff out for it. So it really needs to be done well ahead of time. You need at least, probably about 6 weeks to really put it all together when it comes down to it, as far as organizing and getting people to commit and things like that. And then the other good thing is, like Ryan Heilman tonight, he had his ginormo pod. He had his demo. And unfortunately, that had to be canceled for tonight because he has ginormo crud. I don't know why the hell that word is screwing with me tonight, but he doesn't feel good. So instead of being at a convention and having to go up to the room and be away from home and just kind of deal with it and suck it up and hate life, he can actually be home with his family and get some medicine and go to bed, rest, sleep in his own bed, get up tomorrow and be ready to go.
Yep. So, look, there's advantages and disadvantages to both. There you go. It is one of those things that we're going to continue to do both. I mean, that's just sort of, baked into the DNA of the Dragoons that there's a lot of different communities online doing a lot of different stuff. And like Moe and Gary are doing a ton of video production. And it's great. Like you get a chance to really look at them digging through the contents of stuff. And especially some of your learn to play stuff when you get the designers there and they're actually teaching you. That's fantastic to watch. For us, one of the things that we've been doing a lot of that was baked in when we first started the Dragoons was we wanted to help put, I don't want to just say put events together because it was more than just that. We wanted to help folks find ways to play games. And whether it was helping organize local meetups at their local game stores or, our convention calendar on the website that we put every convention we can find and wargame event we can find on that one calendar so folks can always try to find a game near them, or organizing games online through Tabletop Simulator or these online conventions or whatever. We wanted to help folks, actually get together and play games. And look, the pandemic screwed with that, obviously. There's no way to pretend otherwise. We were planning for an in-person convention in the spring of 2020, and that whole thing got shit canned thanks to the COVID. But
thanks, COVID.
Yeah, no kidding. But without that, we wouldn't have learned how to do these digital conventions. We wouldn't have, we probably would have eventually figured this out, but we wouldn't have been forced to and got to the point where we're now kind of, halfway good at it.
It would have been a harder sell, I think, because people would have been like, why would I want to do it online? I can do it in person. There's no need. But being, necessity is the mother of invention, and no one could go to conventions for a while. So,
Yep.
and everybody missed them and everybody wanted to do them. So here, this is the alternative. Now people have accepted the fact that, yeah, you can play board games digitally. So before there were a lot of people, oh, you're just a hardcore grog if you're playing on Vassal. No one else does that. I play in person, and then when people were forced to play digitally, they realized, hey, it's actually not that bad. And it works really good. So did your internet take a dump again?
So yeah, that's where we are. That's did I
Yep. That Destiny raid must be
am
in
I
full
back?
effect right now. Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
you're back. We're getting these Destiny
I'll
dumps.
tell
I'm
you,
going to start calling them.
sorry.
That's
My
okay.
my son, my son is for some of the like side events that you have in Destiny, like the rocket sled race or whatever. Like I not that specific one, but there's some little side event stuff. He's like one of the top 40, 50 on the planet in a couple of those events. Just with the different rankings that they have. When one of the DLCs dropped a year and a half ago now, one of the new raids, he and his crew got together and they started like right when it first released. They finished the downloads and they started running, speed running this thing. And at one point they were literally leading the planet. They were their 5-man team or whoever was in front of the entire planet trying to get through this thing. And then one of their dudes on their team just disappeared. Like he just stood still and didn't move. Like we don't know if he froze up or mom took the controller away or what exactly happened, but they couldn't keep going because they had lost one of the dudes they were with. And if they had ejected him, they would have had to start over. Now, these guys weren't going to finish first anyway, because as soon as like all the dudes in Korea got online with their super high speed lines, they just lapped the rest of the planet.
Yeah.
But for 8-9 hours into this thing, one of these big speed runs, they were first in the world on that thing. So it's something he's pretty big on. Yep, definitely some Call of Duty folks out there. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I haven't played that in a while. Had a good time playing that for a while, but the environment too online could be a little less than stellar. I haven't
I
seen
suck
that
at
for a
first
while.
person.
Oh, they're fun. They're so much fun because you just run all over the place and shank people and shoot them and just run around like a nutcase and have some fun. And then, of course, the one that a lot of people like to do is, well, at least me. There was a group of people we used to game with, and we had the one guy. I don't know why, but he always would go find a corner and go sit in it in a dark room, and he'd wait for people to run through a building, and he'd shoot them. And I'm like, dude, stop camping. And so I would make it my mission anytime we were playing as a group, and he would do that. I would just find out where he was because he'd usually kill me or something like that as I was running through the room because he'd be in the dark, corner. So then next time I would just run into the same room, and he always stayed in the same corner. So I just walk out, either toss frag in and then run in and friggin' shank him, or just run in there and blast him and keep moving. You'd be like, man, it wasn't cool. I'm like, stop camping, dude. Get out and fight. But that's a lot of fun.
I'm not saying they're not fun. I'm just saying I suck at them.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are just like really insane with their skill. I've seen them online, but a lot of fun. Haven't played it in a while, and maybe eventually I'll get back to it. Kind of mess around with it a little bit because last one I played was
So we're a little ways into this.
the new Modern Warfare, not two,
Oh
but
yeah,
new Modern Warfare. Yeah.
okay.
So what were you going to say? You started saying something.
We're a little ways into the show here, and so we don't normally these on the happy hours. We're going to do one tonight because I had something show up today. Look, I know there are folks watching the show who are not registered for the convention. If so, go get yourself a beer because this doesn't apply to you. Folks that are registered for the show that are watching right now, Mo, how do you want to randomize this? How do we want to do this?
First off, correct your internet. Second, let me work on that. You go ahead and you.
I'm trying, man. I sent a message into the house that said, "Everybody get offline." So, hoping they listen. Am I back on yet?
Yeah, you should be. You should be good.
Yeah.
Let me
All right.
see.
This this isn't a war game-ish thing. This is a non-war game thing. It's still role-playing. Misadventure Games. This is a lightweight RPG. This is not an OGL thing. This was something that I had kickstarted. I got a hard copy of the base book and the PDF of some of the expansions, and it's an intentionally lightweight, fairly easy sort of thing. I'm trying to line this up with the screen. For those of you that are nerds about such things, that's what your character sheet looks like. So, it's fun. It's goofy. It's not a very crunchy system. They accidentally sent me 2 instead of just the one that I was supposed to get. So I was going to give one away to some lucky convention goer. If you're in the US, I'll mail.
Uh-oh. Now we lost him. It's official. We'll give him a second here to come back, and that definitely is uncomfortable when you lose your internet. But what we're going to do is, while we're waiting for Brant to get back, he dropped entirely. So what we're going to do is we're going to, and he's back.
I'm here, man. I don't know what the hell is going on. I told everybody,
did you pay your bill?
Don't chew up on my bandwidth.
See, this is what happens when you take and run away with all that big ACDC money, and you don't pay your bill.
I'm sure my son's on Destiny, and my wife's probably streaming something on Netflix while video chatting her sister.
There you go.
And my daughter's got, like, I don't know, probably 4 different live chats going with other friends. So
it'll be hashtag ACDC 2023 is what we're going to use for tonight's giveaway. So make sure you are doing that right now. You are putting that in the chat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put that up on the screen here.
So
I can get this thing to come up here.
Yeah, when I got unplugged, if you're in the US, we'll ship it to you. If you're outside the US and you're the one that wins it, we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll split the shipping cost or whatever. Again, it's not a big book. It's, fairly lightweight. Would be good for the kids, not hard for them to pop in and join. And but again, whoever ends up winning this thing, we're going to check against the registrations. You got to actually be registered for the ACDC to get this thing. So,
yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that draw. We only have 4 entries so far. Make sure you are part of the convention already, and go ahead and type in hashtag ACDC 2023, and you will be able to get a free copy of this game. And Captain Darwin is giving you a little hint here.
Yeah. He's when he starts talking about how to fix stuff, he's the guy you listen to. He is a rocket scientist.
Just go in the errata and kick everybody else off.
Yeah, it's tempting. There are days it is tempting.
All right, we have 5. We'll give it a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to
a mad dash to that. So.
No, we'll give it a couple minutes here. We'll just leave it up while people see that. If you are part of the convention and you want a chance to win this, hashtag ACDC 2023.
I imagine we've got a handful of folks in the crowd that are not registered, and that's okay. Like this video that we did as an open stream instead of just exclusive to the folks at the convention, because we wanted folks to be able to find out about it. Folks that didn't already know about it would be able to get some info and find out about us. So that's why we did this the way we did.
Yep.
That's why we're teasing a bunch of you guys that are not necessarily in the convention. So real quick, so hello to Lee Grant. I know he's in the convention there. And Gamer 8567, howdy. Yeah, Tim, I would love to steal control of the router. Our buddy John from are the Philippines sunny, or are you guys getting rained on today? Just, I know Gary always mentions from the sunny Philippines. So,
is John in here? I didn't see him.
He said hi a minute ago. He might still be
Oh,
here.
there he is.
Yeah, he's yelling at you, man.
Yeah, I missed Ken.
So
And that is an ongoing joke between John and I.
okay. I will allow it to continue.
So we only have now we have 7. So
we're getting there a little.
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, I just wanted to say hi to some folks quick while they were.
So John, are you signed up for the convention yet? I think you would definitely dig it if you have not signed up for it. There's a whole bunch of demos going on. So come out and check them out. There's going to be some seminars as well. And for those who may have missed the explanation at the beginning, the seminars and demos are going to be done. Well, the demos are going to be done via the Discord, which you can only get to if you sign up for the convention. And the seminars are only going to be visible to those who are part of the convention. They'll eventually be made live later, the recorded version, but you won't be able to be in there, watch it, and ask any questions. So if you want to be part of the chat and be part of the show itself, then you definitely want to sign up for the convention so you can be an active part of the conversation.
Yeah, so John, the ACDC is
it's a rock band.
Armchair, yeah, it's the Armchair Dragoons Digital Convention. And we do one of these every year over this weekend in January. And it's just like any other game convention, only you do it from your house. So
yeah, so you don't have to worry about getting on a plane and flying halfway across the world and all those layovers and everything and getting home 3 days later. You can actually just go sign up and jump into the Discord and be part of the convention in, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. So you should join. 77 degrees is what he's at this morning.
Jeez. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not living in the Arctic up north of the wall or anything, but we did drop like 18 degrees from this time yesterday here. So
how was your weather yesterday?
Not bad, but there's a chance of snow overnight tonight here.
Wow.
It's not going to stick because the ground's still too hot. But yeah, we've and the old wives' tale has held. 10 days ago, we had thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get thunder in the winter, 10 days later, you're supposed to get snow.
There you go.
We're going to get our light dusting overnight that won't stick to anything.
Hey, John, look at the ticker that's going across the bottom of the screen. That is the login, or not the login, but that's the event sign up for ACDC. Just tabletop-events/conventions/the-ACDC-January-2023.
Or rewind this video about 30 minutes.
You could do that too. We're at 9 entries. So if we can get a 10th entry here in the next minute, we will call it. If not, we're just going to run the draw here in a minute.
Just do it anyway.
Exactly. And then you got Lee saying that in Western New York, you get thunder and snow at the same time. Yes, thunder, snow is a real thing.
That's happened around here as well. Yeah. So
that's true. 70-degree drop 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I think it was pretty crazy everywhere.
Yeah. So Darwin, back when I was living up there, back when we used to work to War College together while I was up there, there was 1 year, it was while I was in grad school at Ohio State, that it was like in April, there was a bad cold front that blew through in April, early April 1 year. And it was single digits. But because it was April, it had been like 74 degrees the day before, and then it was 36 hours later. It was like a 70-degree drop in 36 hours. It was insane.
Crazy.
It was the biggest swing I'd ever seen. And there were kids walking around campus in shorts and flip-flops because it was 70 flipping degrees. And the next day, there were kids walking around in puffy winter coats and flip-flops because they're college kids.
Well, what he's talking about, that big temperature drop, the big swing that everybody saw with that Siberian vortex that came through. At one point, when it came through, as it was entering Texas, it was -19 in, I think it was Oklahoma City or Tulsa, one of the two, -19, and it was 60 degrees in Waco. So it's like, just as it was cutting into North Texas, you go between Tulsa, Oklahoma City, in just a few hours difference time travel wise, just getting on the road down to Waco. And it's like, that's an 80-degree swing in the span of a couple hundred miles. It's just insane.
Yeah.
but that's how it goes. So
Meandering Mike's asking how come he can't use PayPal to register. That's a tabletop.events thing, and I'm not sure why they don't allow PayPal. Once upon a time, PayPal had those weird PayPal keys that was basically like a phantom MasterCard number, but they phased those out a couple of years ago, and I don't know why, about a year and a half ago. And I don't know why, but tabletop.events won't accept PayPal payments for whatever reason. And I don't know what the rules are for that. I could probably look if I really cared, but there's nothing we can do about it. So we're just sort of stuck with it. I'm sorry. I know it's a pain in the butt.
Pushing Cardboard says, speaking of giveaways, Harold Buchanan will be giving away a copy of his game Flashpoint South China Sea during his live chat tomorrow morning, 1700 Eastern. And or chat tomorrow, not tomorrow morning. Chat tomorrow at 1700.
Yeah.
So we're at 10. So speaking of drawings, let's go ahead and kick this one off. And the winner is, and it can't be me. I saw my name in there. I only win when I can't win. That's hilarious. Anybody who was watching the Compass show a couple weeks ago will know what I'm talking about. So we'll leave the confetti up on top. I don't know why my name is coming up on there.
It's going to ring you up again, huh?
Oh, I know why, because I'm the one who posted up what the hashtag was.
Oh, gotcha.
Carl from the War Game Boot Camp, you are the winner.
Well, Carl's got my
Congratulations.
info to shoot me a mailing address. So, Carl, I will get a copy of Misadventure Games, the base rule book, out to you. Again, it's a fairly lightweight book. It's only, I don't know, 48 pages maybe. So it's not huge, but it's fun. It's a little goofy. It's a little entertaining. Again, look, I got an extra because they sent me 2 from the Kickstarter instead of just sending me the one I ordered. So I told them I was going to give one away, and they didn't care. They're like, all right,
excellent.
Fine, whatever. So, so that's how we did that.
That's cool. That's cool though.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Carl.
We'll do it.
Someone else actually won. That's true.
All right. So this is going to Carl. Stick them. It is post-ited for Carl.
Yep. Yeah, that's outstanding. But that is funny that because I had put in what the hashtag was. I don't know. I guess I don't know if there's a way you can actually I guess there is a way to remove yourself, but I just put that in there because I want to tell everybody what the hashtag was or what the contest entry information was. And of course it picked me, which is actually kind of cheating because it's my channel and it should automatically take you out by default because you are running the giveaway. Right? You'd think.
Yeah, it seems weird to me.
Yeah. So that's the way it is.
Moe sneaking his own name into the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah. That was completely unintentional. And it's like, no, it's not rigged for me. If it was, I would make sure that it was something really awesome sauce. I'm nothing against that game, but if I was going to rig it, I'd rig it for, I don't know, like something way out of like Case Blue or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to something way out of print.
And not coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not win. No, I did not. So,
well, no, I think what they're saying, because the one right above John is saying Matthew Palmer won when you thought you did.
It came up my name, did it not?
I'm not sure. So,
because it showed my name up on the screen.
Did
it show something else for everyone else?
I don't know.
Now I'm curious.
I mean, you can watch the stream back. I wouldn't try to rewind it live on the air.
No, I'm going to do it I'm going to go to the channel and take a look and see.
Hold on the side. While you do that, I'll mess with Ed. So Ed is saying that I'm teasing him with a shelf full of games and he can't make out what the titles are on the back. All right, I'm going to rotate. You're going to look at the back of my head for a second. That top shelf is sort of the Ancients through early gunpowder stuff. I keep mine roughly chronological, regardless of publisher or anything, just based on like the boxes fitting on there. So I've got Rise of the Roman Republic, Conquest of Paradise, Crusader Rex, Hammer of the Scots, the old Wotan Games King Arthur game from the early 80s, Blackbeard, Pax Baltica, the original Avalon Hill War and Peace, Imperial Struggle, Liberty or Death, Fort Sumter, Shores of Tripoli, and then tucked in the corner where you probably can't even remotely see that it's up there, I've got Soldier Kings. And then the second shelf, we start to get into more World War II-ish stuff. So Maneuver in Germany at War or non-World War II, but then Squad Leader, Fab Sicily, the original Lock and Load Band of Brothers from Matrix games way back when, Quartermaster General Pacific War. So start getting into some more current stuff, things that actually have tanks in them.
So I did go back to the review. I went to the official review and I watched it and I saw something completely different. And apparently other people in the chat saw it as well. I saw on my screen my name come up. That's why I started laughing on, I can't win this. How the hell did my name come up? Then when I watched the replay, it came up as Matthew Palmer. And some people in the chat said that they saw Matthew Palmer. Other people said that they saw my name. So there's some weird gremlins going on here. So technically Matthew Palmer is the winner, not Carl. If we can retcon that, if that's okay with Carl, with you, or if we got something else we can give away.
I don't have something else for tonight. I had stuff I was saving for Sunday.
Oh, well, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. We'll get it. We'll get you guys taken care of one way or the other. We'll get you guys taken care of.
Well, Carl said, go ahead and give it to Matt. That's fine. Carl just commented in there. Here's one thing I need to go check though. Is Matthew Palmer registered with the convention?
If he is, then
I do not have a badge for our buddy Matthew.
Oh, so then it is Carl.
Master list of badges.
Matthew Palmer, are you signed up for the convention? It's not. You're not showing in the badge.
You're not
registry
showing badges, man. Because I've got the master list of badges, right?
You're not registered here at the Prancing Pony, so
yeah. So we'll let Matthew get in touch with us here.
Okay.
So shoot us a note when you get a chance. But yeah, like I'm looking at the list of who's here and I'm not seeing him, and I did a search and didn't see him come up. When is the Case Blue giveaway?
I already won that one, Ed. That one I did rig. I will freely admit. No, there's no rigging. There's no giveaway for Case Blue. That was just a joke.
So.
Oh, well, nope. Matthew said that he did not realize he had to register. Carl can keep it. So that resolves everything right there. He's not part of the convention currently, but you are welcome to join us, Matthew. We'd love to have you as part of the convention. And so Carl, he goes back to Carl. Man, what a cluster. Good thing for the videotape.
We got 90 minutes to fill, man. This is fine.
Well, I mean, I got another couple hours to go after that, so I'm good either way. We could always cut it short, or
yeah, but you have actual interesting people to talk to after this.
This is true. This is true, and that should be an interesting talk. For those who are interested in understanding more about wargame practitioners, or as we always say, professional wargamers. Really, the proper term is really wargame practitioner. We're going to be talking to a couple guys from the Center for Naval Analysis, where they're going to be talking about what they do professionally, and then we're going to talk the comparison between professional and hobby war games, and where they coincide, where they are completely separate, and where the crossover could benefit both sides. So I think it should be a real interesting talk. If you're part of the convention, you can join in on the video just like we are here, and you'll be able to get in on some questions, things like that. It's not going to be Wild West like this is. This is a lot more free form, where I'll just throw up comments left and right, because I want to have that audience interaction. This will be a more structured discussion for them to do most of the talking. We will still add in questions, but it's not going to be the same type here where people are like, hey man, hey, how's it going? We're not going to be throwing that stuff up on screen. So
this is a happy hour, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Happy hours typically aren't all that well structured. And if they are,
yeah, that's true.
So, but yeah,
Carl, I never won a replay before. That's why you always carry the red flag. Throw it out, coach's challenge.
Go to the tape. Yeah. So the guys from CNA, so it's called the Center for Naval Analysis, but it's one of those federally funded research and development corporations. But So there's a lot of government funding behind it. They do things more than just for the Navy. They'll
Sure.
do a lot of work for people beyond just the Navy and Marines, although that's kind of their bread and butter. They're also not exclusively a wargaming shop. They do a lot of different kinds of analytical work for folks.
Mhm.
We are specifically interested in some of the wargamers, and so a couple of the guys from their wargaming and analysis team are who Mo's going to be talking to at the top of the hour. Now, that is one of the ones that is limited to just the convention attendees. So those of you that aren't registered, you're going to have to watch the replay afterwards next week when we end up making those closed door shows public.
I could make that that discussion be an interesting one. I could just start off with, okay, what is a war game?
Yeah,
And then just turn off my mic and walk away.
except that those guys will actually have published definitions that they have to operate within.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is that is one of the other interesting things about that is because what you were just saying is not just Navy Marine Corps or even DoD, they will war game out anything because that's one of the things. War game, is it a noun? Is it a verb? Adverb? Adjective? Um, People use the term a lot more freely with pretty much everything. You know, hey, war game that out. War game what out? If we put out the hummingbird feeder earlier than we normally do, I mean, it's a term in that regard. It's like you're not actually, that's not a war game putting out a hummingbird feeder a month earlier in the season than normal. That's not what wargaming is all about, but that's how we use the term. And that's how I say that's how society uses the term. And that's where I think some of the confusion comes into things. And that is partially because, like you said, what they do, they'll do wargaming of, I don't know, weather or financial markets or whatever, you know, supply issues, supply chain issues, things like that, how that will have trickle down effects on other aspects of life. So that's where that term can throw a lot of people off.
Yep. Yeah, and in the military there are very specific definitions in some cases for what a war game is supposed to be. One example is the military decision making process. Mo knows it as the Marine Corps planning process. They're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Dunn, who's in the crowd here watching, helps teach that at the Command and General Staff College. There's a dedicated step in there where you are supposed to war game through your courses of action, but you're not doing it to like see who wins the fight or anything. It's not some,
Yeah.
unit measuring contest. What you're doing is you are comparing them against the commander's criteria that he's given you, that, hey, I got to make sure that these are logistically supportable, that we end the mission with enough combat power for our expected follow-on mission. Whatever the different criteria are that the commander gave you, you're supposed to weigh your different courses of action against those criteria to know what you're recommending to your boss. That's not about who wins the game. So there we go. Thank you. I was looking to pull it up while I was.
Yeah, I was just one. You were talking, so I was like, I'm just going to put it in the chat, and then I could just show it on screen. Those are the two gentlemen who would be from CNA. So yeah, it's an interesting discussion because when it comes to what practitioners do and what we do, they're similar, but they're similar in some ways, and then they're light years apart in others. But where's the crossover, and where can both sides come together, work together to have a better product on both sides? You know, I think that's something that's an interesting area to explore. And I know they're not as concerned about that's not their job, is to explore getting into the commercial space. But what about commercial people? What can they offer? And what can we take from the professional wargaming space and bring into the commercial space by changing it up? Obviously, you know, there are some games out there. What is it? OWS and Mace, Assassin's Mace, things like that could come into the private space if they change some things up, I guess. But those would be pretty interesting, I think, to see out there in the commercial space.
Yeah. So Carl's asking about the one on salmon poaching. That was actually a CNA project because Sebastian's one of the ones that worked on it. He had talked about it some on the professional wargaming show that Sebastian and Andrew and I did with Gary 2-3 months ago now. That he brought it up briefly. If you get a chance to ask Sebastian about it tomorrow when he's on Moe's show, You can ask quick. They're going to be focused on talking about Sebastian's Littoral Commander game, but I'm sure Sebastian's happy to entertain some questions about fish.
So they did a game on salmon poaching.
Yeah. It's
that could be interesting.
Thing. It's about illegal salmon poaching.
Sure. That could be interesting. Now, do you know what it was? Was it trying to find out where the hot spots were, or what was causing it?
I don't recall all the details.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, that's not the subject you'd ever expect.
Game argument about the illegal salmon fishing.
That's not a war game.
It has a map. It has a map.
No, everything's got a map, but except for U-boat. I was just going to say that before you did, except U-boat, but didn't stop it. But the whole thing is with salmon poaching, you can easily make that a war game.
Oh yeah. Well,
just start shooting at those guys, and there you go. There's kinetic action.
and the other thing that's kind of funny is there's a lot of different projects out there. When somebody goes, "Oh, I'm looking into this," this is something new and different and whatever. There's always somebody that's got, "Oh yeah, but what about this other really off the wall, weird, obscure thing you've never heard of?" There actually is a board game out there called Cod Wars. That's it was a commercially available game about sort of maneuvering for advantage in North Atlantic fishing grounds. And
that could be cool.
So there was already something very similar to what they ended up with for the salmon fishing thing. But yeah, so it's just nothing new under the sun.
Make a game on salmon fishing in the Yemen with Ewan McGregor and Emily Blunt. My wife will play and watch it. Emily Blunt's in, and I'm going to watch it myself. And I like Ewan McGregor too, but I don't know. I think it's funny, and it is interesting when you what they'll say, or what the term is, war game it out. It's just sim it out is really what it is. You're going to simulate different things based on data you have, and then you're going to try to come up with different outcomes. So that way you can better predict. It's just like what they do with the weather. They run models, and this is what they're simulating. They're just simulating these runs based on the data that they currently have. This is what it looks like the atmosphere is going to do. And it's funny because people will bitch, moan, cry, and complain about the weather. But if you've noticed, the weather in the past 10 years alone, let alone past 20, has really gotten better. Their predictions have gotten better.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to severe weather, being here in North Texas, we experience that quite a bit. And it's important for people to have warnings well ahead of time. So if you pay attention to the weather, what's coming up that day or the next couple of days, you'll know, oh, tomorrow could be a bad day, or this, second day, third day from here could be a bad day. So you pay more attention to it. And they don't always, the models will get everything right, but then the atmosphere doesn't cooperate 100%. So it throws a weird thing at you, and the model falls apart. But that's life.
Yeah. What ends up happening where the war game it out part of things comes in there is you've got the model that explains to you, here's the weather we are expecting. And based on the severity or the timing of it all, or how widespread it's going to be, what you're wargaming out is potential responses to it. Do we have the right emergency people in the right places available to do the right things based on what we're anticipating? We need emergency people staged in appropriate places to respond to severe tornado outbreak, but we don't want them in the path of the tornado itself, because that doesn't help us. So that kind of stuff. So when in the civilian world, when they're saying, well, war game it out, there's a lot of a map drill involved in this. Well, if this, then this other thing, as they try to discuss the contingencies. And a lot of times those war games, you're not necessarily looking for some sort of predictive result. Mm-hmm. What you're trying to do is generate and make sure that you ask all the right questions.
Sure.
Do we have enough ambulances to respond to stuff? Is the electric company aware that we're going to have X number of people lose power? Do they have enough linemen ready? Whatever it might be.
Well, we see that in war games too, even the commercial war games. Mm-hmm. Even though historically we know Battle of X had these troops and these troops, and as you're playing it, you start kind of digging into it a little bit more, and you go, man, if these guys only had 2 more tank divisions, Just imagine what would have happened. So you're coming to a similar conclusion as those other sims are in one way. When you start looking at it analytically, even though it's just a commercial war game, you start looking at it and go, wow, this thing could have changed dramatically if they just had 2 divisions of tanks. They could have punched a hole right here and that's it. It's over.
Yeah. 2 divisions of tanks would have made a huge difference at Saratoga, man. It would have been a total.
Absolutely. Because the air cover sucked.
So. Ed Bryan was asking, what is IKS? He was looking at the introduction to Kriegspiel. IKS is the International Kriegspiel Society. And it's a group, they used to be the Southern California Kriegspiel Society, except that looked a little bit too much like sucks when you abbreviate it. So now they've got the Ix. But what's also happened is, as they've done more events online, they've brought in more of an international audience. One of the main guys coaching that tomorrow is a guy named Jan Heinemann, who's based in Germany. And he's become one of their more regular and frequent GMs for the online Kriegspiels that they do. They've gotten really good at doing this using different channels through the Discord, where the umpires have that God view of the map, but they're able to limit what each of the players are seeing using some of the technology. So it's a lot easier to do than the old manual, put everybody in the study carrels where they can only see their own desktop kind of stuff. Like Mike Dunn helped us run at Origins one year. So it is a true Kriegspiel type event where you've got very limited visibility, just kind of your own folks, and very heavy fog of war. It is narrative driven, but these guys have been doing this a lot and they're really good at it. IKS does usually one event, sometimes 2 per month, where they'll block off a Saturday morning. They'll sign up anywhere from a half a dozen to 20 or so people, and they'll run a big full up Kriegspiel using Discord, and folks literally from around the world playing in it. It's a pretty cool event. So they've come back to join us for many of our events, and people have a good time with it.
No, that's great. And, if you haven't been part of any of those things, you can join up. And then, of course, you can always join the ACDC as well. At the bottom of the screen, that's the link to join up join up and be part of the convention. Things are underway already, as we were talking about at the beginning of the show. We've got demos already underway. There is more that are going to be taking place over the rest of the weekend. And even tonight, there's going to be more. And we've got the first seminar tonight with CNA, like we were talking about. And we've got more over the span of the next 2 days. So it's going to be real fun. And you can come and go as you please. Go check out an event that you like and jump in, enjoy it, and then go spend time with your family or whatever. Or stick around the whole weekend and treat it like you're at an away con and jump in and check out a whole bunch of different events.
Yeah, I want to, Mo, I'm just going to throw it to you here for the schedule that we pulled up on screen earlier. I just threw that to you. So Mike, what platform are the seminars on? The majority of them are going to be streamed through YouTube, just like we're seeing here. However, they will be done so using unlisted URLs, where the URLs will only be provided to the people that are attending the convention. So that way we can still take advantage of the real-time chat that YouTube has, but we're limiting the audience to the people at the convention that have access to those URLs. What'll happen in a week or so, between, Pushing Cardboard, Moe's Game Table, and Ardwolf's Lair, all the different ones that they've done that were unlisted, sometime next week or so, they'll flip them from unlisted to public, where everybody else will be able to watch them after the fact, but you won't have the opportunity to really participate live and sort of be in the discussion with the people in the seminar, kind of like we're doing here. This is the one that we're doing that's open to the public to try and build some interest in the rest of the ACDC. Hey, come join us. Here's what you get behind, kind of inside the wire.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. If you've not done an online convention, come check it out. There's a lot of good people. You can even in the Discord, you could just get together and hang out, and you can do audio video, where just like this, we're just having a one-way chat. It's us talking to you guys. In Discord, you can actually get together and everyone can chat audio, or you can use your cameras too, and you have audio and video. So that's another thing with the online conventions versus the in-person convention. People, that's one of the things I always thought was kind of missing, was the social part. but we were able to do that as well. And we have done that in the past. We're just getting together and just kind of hang out. You guys can break out your own libations and sit down and partake or not, and just hang out and chit chat with everybody.
Yeah, one of the things that we actually saw earlier tonight. So one of the earlier events we had tonight was the guys from Lock and Load were doing the World at War 85 game, teaching some of the session, but they had a multiplayer game going in there. I don't remember if it was 4 or 6 players in the game, but when I was just taking a look around the Discord, making sure things were running okay, they had like 8 or 9 guys in the AV channel with them, because Keith was streaming the game to the Discord channel. So there were a bunch of folks in there that were just sitting there on mute, just watching the game with the guys playing and everything. So it's sort of the functional equivalent of walking into the game room and standing there around the table watching other people playing. Yeah, it's a little technically hokey because you can't like actually stand there and watch, but it's as close as we're going to get virtually. And we'll have some other folks that will stream their games. Usually Ryan Heilman streams his stuff. Jim Ozarski will be streaming his 2 sessions tomorrow. So a lot of these folks will be streaming their games, possibly to YouTube, but at a minimum, they'll be doing it in Discord where you can watch there. So,
yeah, I was just going to go in there and try to share the screen and show everybody, but it wouldn't let me do it, and I'm not going to mess with it and break something over on my Discord or in the live stream. Exactly. So I was like, I'm just not going to do it because I wanted to share with you how it worked. You basically go in there and it's just like it is in here where we were sharing a screen before, and that's what everybody's going to be doing in Discord. They're going to be sharing their screen. You're watching. You also have the capability of chatting, and you can ask a question and immediately the answer will come back to you via voice from whoever's presenting. So, well, not maybe immediately, but when they get a chance and they know it's your question, they'll get back to you right there with a comment directly to you.
So
Jim is always dressed up.
So Jim's not usually on screen when he's doing these things. So it's possible he's dressed up, but
I have always have imagined that on Saturday nights, Jim has a traditional hardtack or whatever it was they ate back then dinner, and then suits up, polishes up the buttons and everything, and then sits down in Tabletop Simulator and has at it in his Napoleonics and stuff. So I that's how I envision him every Sunday night with his big hat and a big poofy feather and everything else.
What's interesting is Jim's actually not doing any Napoleonic stuff this weekend.
No, yeah.
Yeah, he's so the afternoon game tomorrow, they're using the Memoir 44 system, but they're playing a big 6-player epic Market Garden game. Nice. So it's going to be this big multi-board thing where they've got Market Garden stretched out across 4 or 5 boards. And then tomorrow evening they are doing the Two Fat Lardies What a Tanker minis game. So it's World of Tanks as a minis game is your best point of reference. So everybody's got their own individual tank. It's a big tank shootout. The game session it takes place at a World War II battle known as Barkman's Corner. The joke is that it's Barkman's Corner Overdrive. And this is a rerun of the same scenario we did last year, where the guy who was the last man standing, Vance, was the king of the hill. Vance will be defending his title. And there's our boy Cyrano himself.
I've got a question for him tomorrow. If he's doing Market Garden, Memoir 44, is he going to go full Digby and have the umbrella with him and be pointing at the screen as he's explaining things, or not?
That is a remarkably good question. Here's the better question. I'm trying to figure out why our boy Cyrano is crashing our live stream instead of taking his wife out to dinner. So it's her birthday.
Maybe she gave him the whole weekend.
What are you doing here?
He just got back.
Maybe. But
so apparently he did not plan on that, but now he is. Oh, there you go. That's the answer. His wife was working.
Yeah. Oh well.
And the son's working. Nice. So you know what? He's not going to have internet problems.
No, he's not. Good for him.
So I guess we'll wrap it up about here. And, there you go. Jim's drinking. So that's always good. He's getting tuned up, ready to go. Getting warmed up. So like I said, go to the link at the very bottom the tabletop.events link, and that will get you to the ACDC registration. If you've not already signed up, go ahead and sign up, be part of the convention, and then you could be part of all the events. The next one is going to be coming up at the top of the hour, and that's actually going to be the first seminar of the show, and that's going to be with the CNA guys. So that should be real interesting. And then we've got other events going on right now, including what was it that I was looking at? It was World at War right now. That's that Lock and Load guys are working on right now.
I think they're going on right now, aren't they?
Currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in there right now. So that's going to be the way it is all weekend.
Yeah. So they've got somebody in there watching because it's a 4-player session, and with Keith and Devin in there, that gets you up to 6. So they've got somebody in there just as a spectator, just watching. For folks, when you just hit the tabletop.events site that's across the bottom as you're going to go take a look at the convention, when you're there, if you across the little menu bar right under the top banner, there is the attend button. If you click the attend menu and open that up, you can see the event schedule and you can see what's coming up for tomorrow. We've only got one other thing due to start tonight, and that's the that's the CNA session that starts at the top of the hour. But we start tomorrow morning at 8:00 in the morning with the IKS guys. And then tomorrow's a really full day, as Saturdays always are at the conventions. Don't sleep on Sunday, though. We've got a bunch of pretty good games on Sunday. And we've got a handful of the shorter 1-hour historical presentations on Sunday. We've got one about the Incheon invasion. We've got one about the 100th anniversary of the Washington Naval Treaty, and then the one about the sinking of the USS Scorpion, which is kind of cool because that's the U.S. lost a nuclear submarine. And so we've got a retired Navy commander that's going to tell you all about it. So we've got a couple of neat things coming up on Sunday also.
So Mike said he signed up, and he signed up for 5 seminars. So don't forget to avail yourself of the demos as well, because there's going to be a lot of interesting and fun demos to check out.
Yeah.
So be sure to sign up. And if you've not already done so, you can still do it at any time throughout the course of the weekend. It's just that you'll have missed anything that was already taking place. So like Brant said, go check out the events and see what interests you most. Make sure that you sign up, be part of the convention, and enjoy. It's going to be a fun weekend. It always is. And it'll be going on until Sunday, and it cuts off. There'll still be stuff going on, but it kind of wraps up around like 5:00 on Sunday with the wrap show.
Yeah. So, our closing happy
and not
hour,
that type of wrap. It's a wrap up show.
Our closing happy hour is dinner time on Sunday on the East Coast. But we've still even got a late night game that starts after that happy hour is done on Sunday evening. And for a lot of folks, there's a lot of folks that are off Monday because of the holiday. So you can game all night Sunday and still sleep in, and have a good time after that. So for anybody that did register as a result of this show, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate you joining us. Pop into the Discord and, look around, have some fun with the folks that are there. Those of you that are in the games tomorrow, I hope you have a blast. Mo, thank you very much, not only for hosting the happy hour here, but also the other talk shows that you're doing. Don't forget, we do still have to give Gary some crap about the fact that he bailed out on this originally.
To go to the theater. He's all hoity-toity.
Mrs.
Going to the
Ardwolf
theater tonight.
To the theater.
Let's go to the theater.
So we lost Ardwolf tonight, but we will have him on Sunday afternoon, and he'll be teaching Great Campaigns of the American Civil War tomorrow morning. So we'll have him available teaching.
Oh, speaking of the English accent, there we go. We got Dean's in the house. Rough Swordsman still here. I didn't know if he was stuck around or not.
Midnight for you.
I know.
Man, you got football to watch early in the morning tomorrow. What are you doing?
I was trying to be all like hoity-toity theater, and it's like it'd be like more like Texas where they go theater.
Yeah. The last picture show, man.
Exactly. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate it. And if you are on the fence about joining the convention, go check it out. $5 get you in. You get to see all the seminars. You get to take part in all the demos, and gives you something to do all weekend. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. It always is. And we look forward to having you guys join and be part of it. And once again, thanks everybody for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. And we will see you the next time. Have a good night, everyone.